Hey everyone, so in today's video I'm going to show you how to create a hand-drawn repeating pattern so that if you tile the image, it creates a seamless texture. There are ways to make images tile in Photoshop and Illustrator, but I thought this technique was more interesting because you're actually doing it on paper. For materials, you'll need some paper, a writing utensil, some tape, a ruler, a craft knife, and some kind of cutting surface. So the first thing you're going to do is take your paper and your pen and draw your design. It doesn't matter if the items are overlapping each other or not, you can do it either way and it's still going to work. You just want to make sure that your design doesn't go all the way to the edge of the paper. You want to leave some white space all the way around. This technique actually comes from a video on Skillshare, and Skillshare is actually sponsoring this video today. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators, and they have over 16,000 classes in things like design and illustration. You can access their videos from your computer, or you can actually download their mobile app and access the videos even if you're offline. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to these videos, and the first 200 people to use my link in the video description will get their first 2 months for free. Then after that, it's as low as $10 a month, and you can cancel at any time if you don't like it. The class that was the main inspiration for this video was called Illustrating Patterns, Creating Hand-Drawn Wallpaper, and that was by Julia Rothman. That's where I learned this technique of drawing the pattern and then cutting the paper and taping it back together to make the seamless pattern. I thought it was just so mind-blowing, I knew I had to make that the topic of this video. I also watched several other videos about pattern making, and one of my favorites was called Pattern Design, Bring Your Artwork to Life on Products, and that was by Elizabeth Olwin. That class was really interesting because it was all about putting your patterns onto real-life objects and seeing your designs come to life. What I like about Skillshare is that the content is very professional and high quality, and they break down the lessons into sections so you can easily jump to the part you want to learn more about. Now I'm going to show you two different methods of making it so the image tiles. Flip your image over and use your ruler to measure the halfway mark down the paper. Mine happens to be square, but this works with rectangular paper as well. Once you've measured, use your ruler and your knife to cut a straight line and cut the paper in half. Now you're going to take those two halves and switch their order so that the left piece is now on the right and the right piece is now on the left. Take your tape and tape the two halves together. Now cut it in half the other way, swap the two pieces again and tape them into place. Flip your image back over and you'll see that the designs you drew are now along the outside and the white space you left on the outside is now in the center. Then grab your pen again and fill in more designs in the blank space. Now you have an image that's perfectly tileable. If you had multiples of it, you could stack them next to each other and it would create a perfect pattern. Now for the second one, we're gonna do things a bit differently so that it tiles in a different way. So you're gonna start out the same way where you cut your design in half, put one piece over to the other side, but instead of aligning them perfectly, take one piece and drop it down halfway. Next, cut off the section that is overhanging at the bottom, and then stick it at the top in the empty spot. Then once again, fill in all the white space with the remaining design. So once your designs are done, it's time to scan them into the computer, and you can just directly print them off and physically stick the pieces of paper together to create a tiled image, or you can bring it into a photo editing software like Photoshop and tile them there. Now in terms of color, there are a few different ways you could do this. You could just print it off in black and white and color it traditionally, kind of like a coloring page, or you could color it in Photoshop and print it off in color. And then of course there's the option to not print it off at all if you just want to keep it as a digital pattern. And you'll notice with the first method that the objects are all stacked horizontally and vertically. Like if you look at that ruler, you can see that it perfectly lines up horizontally and vertically, whereas with the half drop method, all the items are aligned diagonally, so it's not as jarring. Your eye doesn't just pick out those shapes as much. It just looks more cohesive and more seamless. Your eye just doesn't pick out those repeating shapes as easily, which is a good thing. So now what do you do with your patterns? I decided to make a couple sketchbooks, and I used the pattern as a sketchbook cover. For one, I left it black and white so I could use it as a coloring page and color on the cover with markers, pencils, whatever. And then with the other one, I printed off a colored version. If you want to see how I made these sketchbooks without the use of a long arm stapler, just click the iCard and it'll take you to my sketchbook video. Another thing I decided to do with my pattern was to cover my paintbrush holder. Previously it was just covered with a piece of plain green paper, and I thought, why not spruce it up a little bit and cover it with my art supply pattern. Pretty much any craft project that you would use patterned paper for, you can use this for. Another thing you can do is put it on other merch. There are websites like Redbubble and Society6 that let you upload a design, and then you can order things like tote bags, mugs, pillowcases, clothes, all kinds of things with your designs on them. I ended up really liking my designs, so I added both of them to my Redbubble shop. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out Skillshare. The links are down below. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like my Skillshare videos are some of my most interesting videos, so I hope you enjoy them, and thank you so much Skillshare for being a sponsor of this channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.